All right, howdy folks, welcome back. All right, before we get started here, real quick, I want to come over here, just kind of pull back real quick. This site here is called New Newspaper. I want you guys to come over here. They supply a lot of the opening scenes and stuff that I've been using lately. So come over here, subscribe to them, give them a thumbs up, send some love their way for helping me. All right, if you really like what I do and you want to help me, you go over, do what I ask, please, and go over to this channel, New Newspaper Today, and give them some love. Subscribe to them. You don't have to ring the bell or whatever. You can. I suggest you do. It's very good news from around the world. Okay, so I want to give them credit for some of the opening scenes there. All right. I can pause that right there. Come over to our solar report. Okay, here we go. All right, let me pull it down just a little bit and go to my pointer here. Here we are, December 4th, 2023. You can see our slow motion CME right here with the big spike still going or kind of releasing today. I have it in fast. Let me slow it down here. Oops, a little bit faster. All right, so there's our regular speed right there, I believe. All right, and I'll let you see the loop for today while I kind of zoom in, get a little bit tighter for you guys. That's the maximum right there. Okay, that's better. All right, straighten out our camera a little bit. All right, here's our activity. The slow motion event finally releasing today. We watch this thing build and build and build. Finally, watch it grow intensity, and then finally, as this thing starts to release, it withers away. All right. Besides that, we have this object over here, and when we come around to the beginning of the loop here, we'll freeze frame it and go frame by frame here. All right, there's our opening frame right there. This is our object right there. Let me go a couple more frames deeper to where we get a good. Right about there's good. I mean, these things are so obvious now. I don't see why nobody else is reporting on them, except for like Planet X News. Every once in a while, he'll give us an image or two. But there's our object. You can see our our instrument reacting to it. All right. You can see the CME that it's caused too. Not too much, really. It's just kind of bypassing. You can see little waves rippling behind it here. Okay, here's our slow motion event right there. There's an evil looking face in there. I'm not even going to touch that one tonight. Got another, looks like another small one down here. Okay, so you guys do not want to see the evil side of what's coming here. All right, let's progress further here. As these two objects kind of exit the frame here, we have our slow motion CME underway still. All right, here comes another something here. And there's one right here. You can see this little bow shock right here. It's hard to see this instrument's reacting to it, but let's go a couple more frames. I think it becomes a little more visible. Hang on, I'm trying to get one more frame. I think that's probably our best frame right there. Alright, just kind of see it over here on the side of the screen. Faint, but you can make out the bow shock. You can see our faint little object in there. Alright, as well as something up here. This thing, I'm not sure what's going on in here. All kinds of faces and weird entities popping out of that. But I'll let you come over here and use this instrument yourself and click around and look at this mess over here. And you'll see why I call it a mess, because I really don't want to talk about it. I've had a long day. All right, let's continue here. So boom, we see that one exiting the screen now. Slow motion one still kind of finally releasing there. Where's a good frame without something scary in it? Right here, I guess. I just want you guys to note this V-shaped bow shock that's right here, emanating off of something. I see some kind of, it looks like a round shadowy object up in here, but it's hard to describe. There's something else going on there. I'll have to look at it a little closer, but anywho, there's that event. As it kind of withers away, you see the little teardrop bow shock on the backside as it kind of finally leaves the screen. All right, so there's your excitement for today. A couple of little objects, and then finally the slow motion one releasing. It looks like it has some mixed polarity in it, maybe. And that's why, oh, that's what I wanted to show, yeah. Okay, when we speed it up, I want you to, here, let me zoom in too. Oops. And see if we can capture this energy that's coming around the side. I think I was a little too fast. Right there is probably good. You see this energy that's been going around the side coming in here on both sides. Let me darken that just a tad bit. Alright, so there's something there. And you can see the magnetic field roiling over it. You can see plasma going over it and everything. It's just one of these objects that's moving by at a really slow speed. And dragging out this long-term event right there. Okay. So there's your activity for December 4th. Alright. You can see kind of all this stuff right here just flowing in. Watch right. See all that? And usually, sometimes these are objects coming in from the backside of the sun, and we'll see them react with the sun and bounce out at another angle here. So, if this is what I think it is, it looks like a bunch of objects here kind of approaching the sun, going to interact with its magnetic field, its aurora. I don't know what to say. Maybe it's a fleet of UFOs showing up and going to the sun to fuel up or something. I'd like to see NASA explain that. Let's see JPL. See anybody else on YouTube, any scientists, any solar reporters explain this activity. Here, let's just go in a little. You know, we have these CMEs, not CMEs, but filaments that'll lift up off the sun and fall back down. That is way deep into this black circle. This stuff is way outside the corona. And it looks like, I don't know, maybe this slow motion event up here is causing some kind of draw, the sun to draw stuff into it. I don't know, but I've reported on a lot of stuff, and we've seen stuff going into the sun, but this is a little bit more than just one object. This is looks like a fleet of UFOs kind of going into the sun, doesn't it? Everything else is moving out, right? What's all this stuff moving in? Did you see them fighting the current? You can see their little wakes coming off of them. It's all happening just right, a little bit to the left, but mainly to the bottom of it. Okay, pretty crazy stuff. Another sign in the sun. Whenever you see weird activity, out of the norm activity around the sun, that's a sign. Okay, he said you will see signs in the sun, the moon, the stars. that means everything is basically a sign. Everything is. You gotta open your mind when you realize how all encompassing. I could tell you this is God doing this. It's obvious, that something else, is a reaction because maybe God's around. Anyways, we need to back out of this first. Okay, thanks everybody for coming tonight. Thank you for spending a little moment of your precious time with me. I've had a busy day and had a lot going on, and I know how precious people's time can be, especially this late stage of the game. Okay, so here's goes. You can see here's today's box right there. We finished off with a little bit of this activity right as we went into transition into the next day. Now you can see it ramping up, and we're actually had an M-class flare here above. Here, I didn't zoom in good enough for you. There we go. And let me just ruin some more. All right. This little spike right here is just above the M-class line. Oh, throwing stuff at me. Great. All right. Anyways, back to the report. M-class flare here, probably M1.2. It looks like it just barely cleared the line right there. Okay, so a little bit of activity. You see it ramping up since this event right here on the transition line from one day to the next here. So it went down a little bit, had another spike, and then went up. In fact, you guys want to take a little sneak peek at this at tomorrow? You don't? You don't want to see into the future, just a couple little frames into the future? Well, that's tough. We're going to go do it anyway. I'm joking with you guys. All right, let's refresh this so we get as many frames as possible. And click on the 5th. We got 23 frames. All right, let that load up for a second while I get a sip. Doesn't look like much for an M-class. I guess it's this right here. I mean, I don't see anything else, so there's a little peek at your M1.2 or whatever. Trying to get it a little bit better for you guys here. Okay, so not much to see there. We still have some of this little flow coming in here. All right, so you see this little scattering, boom, boom, boom. This might be those objects, like I said, entered from the other side, coming out all scattered. If we go a little darker, well, you can kind of see this dispersion of maybe little ones there. So anyway, let's carry on with our space report now, or solar report. Back to this. So there's your little sneak peek at that event. Wasn't much. Guys, I got you guys all excited, huh? And it wasn't much. All right. X flare potential down to 5%. M flare potential 30%. We still have this 3500, but it's rotating out of range now. The culprit lately has been this coronal hole. It's finally rotated out of direction here, and you can see. Whoopsie! No, you can't. You can see here, little coronal hole stream right here is where it showed up on our instrument. It wasn't much, okay, and doesn't appear that we had a very big impact either. So that's all good news. I think our G2 got downgraded to a G1. December 5th, yeah, G1, so that's good news too. All right, you can see our KP index here just a little bit. Can we? All right, we've had a little jump here in activity, all right? So we've had a little spike in the recent past here. It was only like 4, so it's not that big of a deal. So that was maybe our little bit of impact right there. Auroras aren't doing too much. They're mild. They're still there. They're still green. Okay, we're still taking on energy. All right, even though they're not red and yellow, this is still mild energy. Still overcharging this capacitor, this Earth, this planet that's a capacitor. It has a positive and a negative pole, like a battery. When this stuff comes in, it absorbs it, and then pretty soon it can't absorb much, and it has to release somehow. It has to come out in form of volcanoes, earthquakes. Um, One of these days, we're going to have to talk about ground emitting lightning coming out of the ground. There's going to be so much overcharge in the planet that it's going to have static discharge on the form of lightning coming up out of the ground. All right, not much to look at here. It's really faint anyways, just kind of moving down there. I'm not even going to zoom in on it. It's a waste of time. Not much to look at there. So there's basically your report. Finally, our coronal hole is, the stream is still kind of going. You can see here, let me, if we can get this wider, bigger for you. There we go. As you see this jump right here in the speed, it comes up, boom, and it's still really high right now. It's at like 550 to almost 600 kilometers per second. Okay, that's pretty high for our solar wind. All right, so this is also impacting the Earth, but not like a CME would. But it is causing us some auroras. Okay, a little while ago, earlier today, when I looked, when this bulge was more on this side, there was a tint of yellow to it for a few frames, but then it faded away. Okay, so we did take a little bit. Like I said, you can see it. Whoops, you can see it on the KP right here. So we did take a little bit of energy in. All right. The forecast for the next couple days is G0. Okay, so no more geomagnetic storms predicted, at least from these guys the next 2 days. What we need to do while we're there, and I'm thinking about that. Tomorrow will be the 6th. No, the 5th. My bad. We're already in the 5th. 1, 2, 3 takes us back to the 2nd. Okay, let's just see what kind of energy came off the sun on the 2nd. All right, regardless of what they're predicting, let's just take a peek for ourselves. What happened 3 days ago on the sun that might be influencing us in any way? So, come on, hurry up and load this. Maybe glancing below doesn't look like too much yet. This is the day we had this event, this big widespread. Whoops. Right there. Ooh. Does it look like an evil clown grinning? No, never mind. 2 eyes, the nose, and his evil grin. Anyways, this stretched out from way down here up to here kind of reminds me of when one of these bigger objects passes. We didn't see much on the opening frames to this, but we did have this event early on the 2nd. So if anything were to come our way, we might have a little impulse from this or something. We'll see maybe on this other instrument if they'll give us an update on the end little spiral on this event. All right. So regardless of what they say, we do have this event. Boom. And if that's the big object, it could have some drastic effects on weather, everything. That thing itself is worse than a CME hitting us. Just it going by even far away. Hopefully that wasn't it. I don't think it is, because it usually leaves quite the proton storm after it, and this one didn't. So all right, so there's your loop real quick for the 2nd, which is energy that will be inbound on the 4th or on the 5th. Okay, that'll miss us. This will probably miss us. This big blast is the one I'm concerned about. You know what? Let's go back. Ooh, there's a little sun diving comet. Did you see that, you guys? Right down here. Right after this blast, you see the sun diving comet come in. Boom. It was heading right at that object right there. I don't think that sun diver was heading at the sun. It was heading at this object that came out. Oh no, it finally arced. Never mind. Alright, so I want to take a peek. Just bear with me real quick. I want to take a peek at the very tail end of the first here. And that was all energy that was, due to hit us today. This event, that event, we got clipped by. Okay, so here we are, the tail end of the first, which would be energy that's hitting us right now, the transition from the first or the fourth to the fifth. So this event right here. Oop. Yeah, we didn't get many frames of it. Let me darken that just a tad bit. Anyway, there's this too that could be heading our way too. We might get a little glancing blow of that. Alright, now back to the solar report here. So watch out December 5th now. It's still a G1, so we might see G1. It might bump up a little bit. We'll see. Okay, let's come on over here to this one real quick. Oh, I want to read that to you guys real quick. No forecasters have downgraded the current geomagnetic storm from G2 to G1. All right, this is in response to the late arrival of a solar wind stream flowing from the huge coronal hole described below. Okay, we already saw the solar wind on the instrument there. Okay, despite this development, high latitude sky watchers should remain alert for auroras on December 5th. A glancing blow CME may not yet provide. There's the one I want, the glancing blow CME. Here's the endless spiral I wanted. All right, you see that one? I wish I could slow it down and freeze frame it, but the very edge of it does catch the Earth right there. Okay, you even see it on this one. A lot of it, this is north and south of the Earth. This is like if you're looking the side of the Earth. If the CME, came off the southern side of the sun, it would pass to the south of us. But do you see, it does clip us. Bingo, right where the yellow and red, or yellow part is. So it's going to be a moderate hit right there. Let me show you on this one over here. I want you to watch this one too real closely. Get it all pretty lack for you. All right, so right when that cross is going to happen to glance and catch the Earth right there. All right, so prepare for another impact. All right, even if it's not right in the middle, we're still going to get a glancing blow for this. It may not be much. Let's pray that it's not much, because our planet can really, can't handle much more. We're going to start having static discharge out of the ground. Anyways, let me just finish this little quick, and then I got a little critter to attend to for a second. A huge hole in the sun's atmosphere has opened in the sun atmosphere and is spewing a stream of solar wind directly towards Earth. All right, blah, 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 blah. We already know about that. Okay, that's done with that one. Let's come on over here to the Schumann. That's the one I wanted to talk about tonight. And we'll scoot this up and scoot this in. And let me take this off for a second. I'll be right back. You want to go out, little critter? Okay. Watch out for that flashing red light. Okay. Back to the show. Alright. What I mainly want to talk about, we've already covered these two screeching events. Boom, boom, boom. You can see the break in between them. One impact, a little bit of break, then another, another reaction from the second impact. Now you see, as we come out of it, gets a little weak right here as we come out of it. Then it kind of comes to life. And then we have this event right here. This is a very weak event. All right. It's not the end of the world. It's not the total drop of the magnetic field. Whoa, whoa. Don't take everything out. I'm trying to get a little too close for you guys. But I want you to see about as good as we can get it. Might have little wavy lines, but oh well. There. You can see our little quiet zone right through here. Okay, that's where the magnetic field was really weak. All right, and if we got hit with an impact of some kind during that time frame, a lot of particles would make it through. All right, it's not like the end of the world. It's not a total lockdown, whatever the core and the shell. But you can see after these screeching events, we have these little lull. You know, it kind of weakens for a bit, and then kind of comes back to life, and then boom, we had this weak little stream right there. Okay, for quite a while. All right, you could see it got weaker and weaker, and just tapered off, and like right there's nothing for a minute for one little stream of line going right through there. All right, so we're that close. All right, that's why I say we can't take on much energy, because I bet we're going to have another screeching event. In fact, back up. You can see the next screeching event coming on. You see how it's starting to already get fuzzy and starting to grow already? So look out. We're going to have another one of these events. Hopefully it's not as strong as this one, all right? Now, all these frequencies, when a white stripe goes all the way down, these are higher frequencies, okay? So it's intense in all these low frequencies, going even into the 40 hertz range, okay? And the one we're most concerned about is this one right here, the 7.83. That's where we resonate at as humans, okay? This planet does too, okay? Any kind of disruption in our vibe makes things happen to people. And if you've been out Christmas shopping, I think you see what I'm saying. I think you understand when we get into our spiritual report tonight. I know what you're going through. Alright, so there's your shroom, and it weakened, and now we're going into another screeching event. It'll probably be mild. This next impact was nothing like these two, so it'll probably just be a quick little mild screeching event. Let's get out of there. Yeah, and come on over to the quake report. Probably the most report. Well, this one and the volcano report, the most important ones tonight. All right, and we have another atmospheric event. There was a typhoon hit India. Now, I was watching it a couple of days ago on the Knoll School, and it didn't look like much, so I didn't even really report on it. I didn't think that was going to intensify, but we'll get into our intensification of storms when we get to the weather. But for right now, here comes the earthquake. All right, let's start right here. Here's our deep quake of the day, a 4.5 down at 531. That's our regular energy that we're used to dealing with, all right? Every day we see, not every day, but normally we see some kind of 4 come out, a deep 4 come out of this region and put that 5 energy into the system, okay? That was the way things have been working for a while. It looks like now that this pressure transfer has kind of relieved, we're getting back to normal with a small little 4.5 here. This is kind of good news, all right, at 531. Still a little indicator that there's activity down deep, okay? Up here is a 4.5 at 124, so the same magnitude came right on through here. 4.9, that's a little higher at 25. 4.3 at 68. 4.5 at 56. Another 4.7 coming up this way. 4.9. They start to increase as we get around our quake swarm area. We're going to bypass this because look what happened here. Oh, let's open this right now. 5.7 at a depth of 77.7. And that's screen volumes, huh? All right. This is Taiwan. What island is? Oh, this northern Philippines. So we just had a pretty significant quake just north of our quake swarm. All right. I was going to talk about how this quake swarm tonight has been our main release of energy, and that the rest of the system has been mighty quiet because of this. All right, but looky, I'm glad I waited because now we've had a quake just north of this up here. There's no tsunami threat yet on it or anything. 5.7, I could see why. But some of this energy pushing north, going up, now it's transferred from this red line, this red tectonic plate. See this little fulcrum point right here? It's pointing right over to the other plate, right where this is kind of transferred to. Bing! Now, I expect to see this 5, higher 5 range, 5.7, to probably trigger off something here at Taiwan now, all right? The next fulcrum point right down the line. So you'll probably look out Taiwan. You're going to have a mid-range 5 to possibly 6 strike you. Okay. This whole side, very quiet. The whole northern part, very quiet. Even all the way over to Alaska. These are mouse farts. 3.2. This is quiet. Quiet. All quiet through here. We have a new quake here at the Juan de Fuca, and 2.9, my bad. 2.9 just west of Crescent City at a depth of 10. Nothing big. You can see some of this energy kind of being released here at California. There's another one, 2.6, down at Mecca, California. All right, but not too much activity going on. The one to talk about today, though, is Hawaii. Let me get a little closer. Right here, we had a 5.1. That's the biggest we've seen here on the island in a while. Okay, so Hawaii being the center point of all this, the ring of fire. Let me back out a little bit. It's like the hub of a wheel. All right, here's a big wheel, bicycle wheel, and right in the middle is the hub, right? Well, when we have all this activity on the outside, you're going to expect to see eventually some of it get to the hub, okay? And the 5 energy that was being thrown around yesterday resulted in a 5 here, okay? We got to watch this area. It's kind of coming back to life. That's a good, significant size quake. 3.1 aftershock, and let's just make sure there's no I'm going to change up the instrument real quick. I want 7-day all or well, no, I want 7-day 1-day all magnitude. Let's do 1-day all magnitude. Yeah, there are a couple other ones here right there and down the beach here. All right, so there's been a little flurry of quakes right around this right here. Okay. Let's change it back and remove it and continue on. So people in Hawaii, be on alert. You might have even a bigger quake. If we have a little more pressure, we're right at the mid 5 range on pressure, right? If there's like a pressure valve for the earth that's stuck up out of the ground and give you a reading, its reading would be 5.5 to 5.7 right now, all right? That'd be the earth's pressure reading. Let's just kind of use magnitude as a tool like that, kind of. It is an indicator of pressure. Here's a 5.2 over here in Pakistan, okay? They're usually mid-range 4, so it's been bumped up to 5.2 there. Come over here. This is a 5.6 over here at Somalia. This is no slouch either, okay? A 5.6 probably rattled these folks. There's not very good infrastructure. So then our volcano that's going off right here has relieved a lot of pressure on this whole side of the system, okay? We're not even seeing quakes up in this little apex point up here, but we did catch a little something rumbling out here. This is concerns me. This is where we have these big strike quakes out here sometimes that rush in. So an odd quake out here. It's in this see this little ridge that runs down there. It's just off of this ridge. 4.7 at a depth of 10. It's not a big quake. It's energy being released, but it's a sign that something's waking up in this vicinity. Something shifted, and we're having a little bit of activity there. We'll have to watch it closely, all right? It could just be, this is relieving pressure so much, this had to react, okay? Moving on, there were a couple around here, but they seem to have gone. Nothing major on this side anymore. Couple of here, South America, 4.6 and 4.4, so mid-range 4 energy over here. Just in case, 4.4 and 3.9. We saw a decent-sized quake out of this region not too long ago. We should watch that area, kind of. It's these surprise areas just kind of pop up sometimes, and they're hard to predict. Here we have a little weak spot going on over here in Texas. 4.1 is the biggest one. 4.1, then a 3, and a 3, a couple of 2.8s. All right, little weak spot in the crust right there. Ooh, we'll jump over to this one too. 3.2 by Garden City, Texas. All right, so you guys are having little mild quakes out here. A little indication of, the perforations in the crust right there, making weak spots. Okay. Oh, new one right here. It's a 2.6. It's nothing. All right, I think we might be done with our... Oh, I want to take a peek up here real quick. 3.2 in Oliver, Canada. All right, as we have this atmospheric river coming into this area, sometimes the pressure from these storms cause, a little earthquake activity. Don't be surprised when these storms come in here, when we start talking about this atmospheric intensification, that it might strike another quake. Another one similar, maybe a tad bit bigger, but probably just there might be another quake in that area. As energy comes into the Wanda Fuca, it might come over here. We'll see. But other than that, it looks real quiet. Just this one odd quake out here. All right, that's a danger zone. And that 5.6 by Somalia. That's an increase in magnitude as it comes down the line. All right, this right here was even 4.4. That's not much, but that's that weak spot. Let's see if that's that weak spot in the Himalayas. No, it's just down from it. This is where we had our series of quakes right here. You see where it's a lower depression area. There's no snow-capped hills or snow-capped peaks. Not as many right in this area. And the terrain is different. It's brown. Everything else around it's green. This is where we're having a little series of quakes here. It was a relief valve for the Himalayas. It seems to have jumped back a little bit with this one at 4.4 in India. Now that devastation I was showing you in the opening is in India because we had an event there. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's keep going on this with the volcanoes now. All right. No, not your ear. The volcanoes. All right, let's get into it. So Shivaluj, volcanic ash advisory. Ibu, explosive activity continues. Volcanic ash advisory. Ash plumes that rose up to 7,000 feet today. Luatolo, explosive activity continues. Volcanic ash advisory to 6,000 feet altitude. Merapi in Java. A massive eruption occurred at the volcano late afternoon today. Massive eruption at Merapi. Okay. Um, a large hot avalanche known as a pyroclastic flow descended from the active lava dome and submit crater the I was trying to read that. Go back. What happened there? Let me see if I can step backwards. Thank you. Oh, that was. Are we on the same one now? It switched my report. Okay, we're on Simmeru. There it is. Alright, we can back out of Simmeru. Oh, come on, instrument. My bad. Alright, so continuing on, Merapi, volcanic ash advisory. Dukono, explosive activity continues. Volcanic ash advisory to 8,000 feet. Popo to 20,000 feet. Explosive activity continues to 20,000 feet. Fuego, volcanic ash advisory. Nevada del Ruiz to 19,000 feet today. Sangay to 20,000 feet today. There was more. Where did it go? Hey. Alright, well. There was more. Where's the rest of the list? Oh, show more. There we go. I want the very bottom of the list and not all these ads. Oh, it's not showing it now. These are all daily reports from last week. All right, so Sangay, Nevada del Ruiz, Fuego, Popo, Dukono, Merapi again, Simmeru again. Why does it go back to this? I want the other part of the volcano report because it has the rest of the list. All right, we're going to get there. Thank you for your patience. All right, here's an image of what? Krakatoa going off today. All right, so Krakatoa was also going off today. The explosive activity at the volcano resumes. Short-lived bursting, lava fountaining, episodes known as pyroxysms. I can't even say this. Took place. Okay. Eruption lasted 69, 150, and 41 seconds. So 3 different blasts, one lasting 69 seconds, 150, 150, and 141 seconds. Simmeru, Merapi, Dukono, that was another one, Dukono. Santa de Guio going still. Sabancaya. Where is the rest of this list? All right, let's just move on. So let's get over here to our interactive volcano map, if this will please work for me now, because I had this loaded up at a certain spot, and nope. That's okay, though. We will just go back into it. Let's slide it over here to our spot. Okay, so since we reported last night, our what was once orange Merapi is now in red in current eruption phase. All right, this one is Kinesi right next to it that's in yellow. It might jump into a more active phase to orange or something. Krakatoa still in red, still erupting. Okay, there's Merapi. Okay, and Simmeru. Behind those two is another volcano in yellow here. Bromo. Okay, this one's in yellow. This one could possibly jump in activity too because we have the whole island, every single one of them in red. Red, red, red here, red up here now. This one could possibly, what's this? Tendency? All right, yeah, we did that one. So those could possibly go a little more active, all right? Let me scoot this back down a little bit. Oh, okay, well, I have to use zoom this way. I wish all maps kind of worked the same. Zoom is the scroll on your mouse instead of a little button on the side. Again, all these ones over here in orange off of Papua New Guinea, Manam, Ulawan. This Ulawan's the one that just had a biggest eruption of the year. So watch out for that one possibly here. Bagana. All right, so all these ones in orange have the possibility of going active still. Um, Barren Island volcano. Is that a? Yeah, that's out where that quake was. Let me just zoom in on that a little bit better. Okay. Oh, it's out here. Never mind. Okay, in the Indian Ocean. So that one we'll watch as well. Okay. Because anything close to this area, there's weak spots that are forming, and it could be anywhere. All right. Let's just take a peek real quick. For instance, now we've seen a shift of energy, and we didn't even cover this. My bad. So, as we go into this quake swarm for today, let's even start picking away at these. 5.1 right there. My bad. Uh, 5.1 again. 5.0. 5.4. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 magnitude 5s. And you can see there's been a little drop in activity. There's not as many today. 4.6, 4.7, 4.7. Oh, look at this. Here's 4 quakes on the other plate. 4.7 at a depth of 49.7. Another 4.7 at a depth of 47. A 4.6 at a depth of 43, and another 4.7. 3 4.7s right here and a 4.6, all on the other plate. Remember yesterday when I showed you there was a 7 on this side of the plate and it kept disappearing and reappearing on the instrument? And they even had a time and date stamp and everything for it. See, I think there's activity happening on this side of the plate, and now we know there is. All right. I'm looking for the smallest quake. There's a 4.3. Okay, so our smallest quake being 4.3 to 4.4 in energy. Okay, but a diminishing number in the region. We're still having activity, but now that we're not having a red one every 10 to 15 minutes, and we've just had this one that popped off over here. Let's go in closer on this. This appears to just be in this channel right here. I don't see any like volcanic island or underwater seamount. But man, is this a, look at this caldera. And is this one too, or is this a bay? Oh, dude. Total caldera. It's still got a volcano sitting right in the middle of it. Yeah, that's a total caldera right there. Wow. Well, at least we're learning some good geology as we go along here, seeing some interesting places. So we'll watch this area now. Little 5.7 in that region tells me there's might be a little weakness in the crust there. It might travel up this little thing and set off something over here on Taiwan or even on this side of the plate boundary, this other side here. We'll see. The rest, eerily quiet. A lot of pressure being relieved up here. Okay, I bet you there's probably volcanic activity going to start here in Japan here too. It might step up as this energy creeps up this way. If it doesn't trigger a quake, we're going to see it in volcanoes. Okay. All right, now let's come on over here to the null school and let's look at our atmosphere, our polar vortex. Okay, so it's got this split in it, right? And then you see the intense part is coming right down over the Hudson Bay and splitting the country. It's splitting right in half, right in the middle of the country. It's kind of coming down right in the middle. Half of it's going off the east coast, and the other half is circling back around over the west coast and going out into the Pacific. You see this sub-vortex here has taken a lot of the strength out of this. It's taken the strength and split it into two right over America, with the strong part going back over towards Europe. So we're kind of getting blessed by having the separation right over America, except it's generating this backward flow right here. All right. Now this is up at the polar vortex. Let's go down to your upper jet right here. And then you'll see that backwards motion up above has made this storm front buckle and go up like this. You got energy pushing this way against something that wants to go this way. It gets pushed up and over, right? You got something coming this way at it, so it buckles and gets pushed up and over. This up and overflow is causing this atmospheric river that's just going to pummel this area of British Columbia and the Puget Sound, Seattle area. All right. That's why you're having this atmospheric river effect, is because our polar vortex is going wonky. We're in transition still, but that looked kind of wonky to me. As this goes up, it grabs cold air out of Canada and drives it straight down into the central plains, where we have moist air coming up off of the Gulf here and out of Mexico, making this nice cocktail, not a nice, but a mean cocktail right over the eastern half of the country. You can see the intensity when the winds pick up there. All right. So you can see that backwards flow has caused a bowing effect and made the flow go north and south right here. And then that makes it come back together and make this potent mix right here for the eastern half of the country. That mix goes straight over here and comes right at Europe and everything too. See how they have this southerly flow coming in? There's some kind of little dip right here, but pops out and mixes right here over Middle East and everything. So we're going to have strange weather. Now over here in India, doesn't look like much right now. Let me go a little bit lower. Let's go even a little bit lower. You can see this small little spinning vortex right here. Let's go. It's probably about our best one right there. I'm going to zoom into this. The other day, this was just a small vortex. This thing picked up in intensity and became a typhoon that is just punishing India right now. All that footage that you saw at the opening is now of India. You see how this flow has taken moisture out of the Gulf and slamming it right on shore right here. They had 196 kilometer per hour winds. That's 120 mile an hour winds. So what was just a little offshore storm turned into a typhoon. It's not really showing red intensity, but look at the eye. It has this mysterious little eye to it in the middle of its rotation. So it turned into a typhoon, and they're getting hit by a typhoon in December 5th. So here's the rapid intensification again of a storm that it caught us off guard. I was looking at this thing the other day, and it did not look like it was going to produce anything. And now here we go with India getting just hammered. Where was that video? I think it's this one. Just for a minute here, we'll let some more of this play. And this is the typhoon that hit India. Look at this green stuff in their water, some kind of pollution that was in the water there. That's so sick. And where was the shot of the airport? Right here. Look at this airport. It's almost up to the engines right there. These guys up to almost their knees. You see these tires. These tires are bigger than the ones on your car, okay? The tires on an airplane, especially these big airplanes, these are massive tires. You see they almost come up to his waist, and that's a lot of water at your airport. That plane ain't going nowhere. So severe flooding. You saw some of the high winds that were happening there. All right, let me back out a little bit. Get back to our all right, so they had this intense typhoon today. All right, now let's get over to our weather forecast. Did we want to go? Oh, wait. Let's just take a look at the sulfur dioxide back here real quick. Chemicals, SO2, sulfur dioxide. SM is surface measurement. If we can get it, please. Not that one. SO2. There we go. And I want to pull back and show you this darkening here in China. All right, this is a pretty good sized patch. This bay right here has a lot of population on it. Okay, and sitting right underneath them is all this sulfur dioxide. That patch is almost black. Okay, so we have a lot of pressure underneath pushing out. Something else I want to point out, look at America. All right, before, let me get this, it was divided like right here. We have seen a decrease in pressure creep into this part down in here now. All right, that's less pressure in this region. It's lightening up. There's a few intense spots right in here, a couple little patches down in there, but we have seen a lightening up of some of the intensity down the middle. It's kind of shifted a little bit, and it's really lightened up here on the west coast. You see some patches that don't have any. All right, so pressure shifts from continent to continent sometimes, and it's weaker on one where it's stronger in another, and sometimes that has everything to do with spiritual realm. It has everything to do with the spiritual realm. Okay, you guys will pretty much figured it out. It's blatantly obvious. I'm not going to really preach or talk too much about that, but we got some countries that are getting their asses handed to them because of what they do. Here we are at the island of Java, this strait right here where Krakatau is. We still have a lot of sulfur coming out of the island of Java. That's all those volcanoes that are going off right there. Up here, this little patch right here is where our volcano went off yesterday, and now we're seeing emissions from this area, all right? This little dark spot over here, I wonder what's going on over here. This is Singapore, I think, so that might be their pollution. Okay, that was about it for this one. Now let's get over to the regular weather forecast. Now, as we had the intensification of that typhoon, the main storms that are affecting America as we're, still kind of taking in energy is this storm right here. This is where our atmospheric river is pointing everything. So we're just gonna steadily go through the Pacific Northwest here tonight. Well, everybody, but oh, we have 2 frames. Son of a gun. Oh joy. I guess we're doing a short weather report. So, current conditions, we have severe weather hitting the Puget Sound area. And since we only have a few frames, might as well get it as big as possible. Alright, even icing up in here mixed in with the snow that's going into, Alberta up there. So, this storm looks to pack a punch. Let me go one more frame. Then it, that was current conditions. So this will be morning of the 5th, right here, as intense severe weather coming off the Pacific, hitting shore right here, northern Oregon, southern Washington, right there at the border. All right, even impacts deeper inland in the Cascades with severe weather up there as well. Then by noon, do we get to the next one? Did we? Alright, so yeah, that was the noon time, and then there's only one more frame. And then that's probably the end of convection right there. So, fair warning to the Pacific Northwest, everybody, you're going to have a series of storms over and over and over and over again. And what's going to happen here is this instrument is going to take a little while to give us more frames of data over here. So we're just going to move on to the spiritual report, and then we'll come back to this and pick up where we left off. All right. Hopefully we'll have more data by then. We will. All right. So let me come on over here. Typhoon. Change that to my channel now. And let's pick up a good picture to read to tonight. Do we have an ad first or not? Better not be an ad on my channel. You can if you want, as long as you play something, alright? Just go. There it goes. Alright. Real quick, we're going to kind of let this thing play through without the volume here while I get my reading together here. Okay, here's where it turns into the lion phase here. In fact, you know what? A more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. There's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with the crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus' face and the lion face. Now this happened in the clouds, and it was so big and in your face you couldn't see it. It wasn't until I took these images and zoomed out and compressed them. You didn't zoom in. They're too big in your face. You have to zoom out to see these. And these images that you're looking at have all been compressed, each frame, and then put into a flip book. And you can clearly see Jesus' face here with his crown hovering over his head, turning into that weird little lion face or whatever right there. Okay? And this happened back around Easter, okay? On Easter. Happened. All right, it happened on Easter. I put this video up the day after Easter because I had to process these pictures that night. Alright, so there's 2,000-year-old prophecy, miracle come true. Alright? Happened right there. Now, boy, today I was so busy, and the Lord is like awesome. He's right there at my side, helping me through the struggles of my day. Okay, and you can see right there, He's around me all the time. Okay, and I started to get ready for the show, and He had me do some writing and write down some stuff. So before we get into our reading tonight, um, so let me start off by when I went out there today. When you're out there running errands and you're trying to do what? Just grocery shopping, Christmas shopping, blah blah blah. You got to get gas. You got to deal with the public, right? When I left today, I knew it was just going to be a jungle out there. I prayed to the Lord, said, please just give me patience and tolerance, and I'm trying to maintain my composure. Lately I've been kind of losing my temper, and I'm a very patient man, and lately I don't know what's happening, but my patience is like wearing thin. And I've always had this endurance and this patience that just lasts forever, right? So today I prayed for, just help me through this day. I got a lot of shopping to do. I got a lot of errands. And while I was out today, I pray, just protect me while I'm out there from the traffic and the people that are driving on their cell phones. I don't want to get in an accident today either. So I prayed all this stuff today before leaving, and then I went out and did my prayer, or did my routine and everything, and made it through the day. Got back home and realized a few minutes later, wait a second, all the things I prayed for today all came true. I had the protection out there. I didn't get in an accident. I made it through the day without losing my composure. I made it. You know, all the shopping and got all the products that I needed. So my prayer was answered. And it took me. It wasn't until kind of a little later on that I reflected back. Oh wow, my prayers were answered today. And my first response is to thank Him. I always, as soon as I recognize answer prayer, it's like, oh my God, thank you. You answered it. You covered me today. So He was telling me about this answer prayer. Um, do When you guys pray and you get your answered prayer, do you perceive it? Do you receive it? Do you even recognize it? Or do you move on? Or do you even take a moment to realize that that was your prayer that was answered? And then when you do realize, did you thank Him? Or did you just kind of move on? Oh yeah, answer prayer next. Or did you just kind of go, wow, you came through me, you came through for me today, Lord. I wasn't going to make it, and you did it. You answered my prayers. I don't pray for extravagant things, just simple things that really mean a lot to me in my struggles right now. So I got this answered prayer, and it wasn't until a little bit later that I recognized it. Then I received it. I didn't move on. I immediately thanked Him. I realized what had happened. I took a moment and was like, wow, it wasn't just this. It was all the protection. It was all the products. It was the gas. It was safe passage. Just every little aspect of your day, this gauntlet that we run through, uh, you know, uh, all these little miracles happen. And you really have to kind of step back to recognize how many things somebody pull out in front of you and missed an accident today, or you got the last item on the shelf. Every little single thing is a miracle if you recognize it. So I took a minute. I didn't move on. I took a moment to realize it. I thanked Him. I gave Him credit. He's asking when you give thanks. Okay, thank you for answering my prayer. But did you give him credit for the help? It was like, oh, I went through my day and everything just went smooth. I did it all. Or did God do it all? Did the Lord help you do it all? Where's the credit really lie? And then, what was the other one? Oh, the okay. So today I have excruciating pain. I have shattered hips, and it pinches my sciatic nerve all the way from my foot up through my hip. Sometimes it goes up my back and through my neck and into my head. So every other step on my left leg is excruciating. It feels like walking on a broken leg. All right. Sometimes the strength isn't even there to put enough weight on it. So it's very weak and very painful. I had to go through the gauntlet today, at least walk 26 miles, up steps this way, up there that way, and I'm limping the whole way through in excruciating pain. And while I was thanking him today, I was like, oh, you know what? Something else I realized as I was doing my routine today, I had ease of pain. So thank you for easing my pain. And I got corrected. He was like, I didn't. I didn't ease your pain. You were in pain every step of the way today, weren't you? Then I thought about it. Oh, yeah. I guess I was. Well, do I take that back or whatever? He says, no, I didn't ease your pain. I gave you the strength to make it through the gauntlet. This gauntlet that we go through every day now is the same kind of gauntlet, all right? And I was like, oh, thanks for easing my pain. And he was like, oh, I didn't ease your pain. I gave you the strength to make it through. So that's where I have to give him credit again. It wasn't me, powering through today. It was him giving me the strength to do it. It's impossible what I'm doing. The excruciating pain, yet I still go day in and day out like a marathon runner. And it's amazing what the Lord can do. He really performs miracles. He can make you go through excruciating pain with a smile on your face, going through hardships and still being joyful. Sounds odd, but that's what he does. That's what he does. Okay, so now, did we cover everything on that list? I think we got it all. Hopefully you guys heard that message there because this was important. He had me automatic writing right before the show. I was trying to do the show and next thing you know, I'm writing stuff down. I don't even know what I'm doing and until my hand cramps. And then I finally go through it and look at it, what he had me write down. And it's like, oh, answered prayer. Yeah, that's right. I was talking about that today. And he was like, oh, yeah. Did you receive it? Did you recognize it? Did you move on? Did you take a moment to just realize it? Did you thank him? And did you give him credit for the help? We're not doing all this by ourselves. It's with his help. You plus him make perfection. All right? So when you're getting your strength out there to carry on, it's coming from the spiritual realm, okay? Even when, you don't feel that well during the holidays. Holidays are rough for me, okay? A lot of people enjoy them, I still enjoy it, but it can be a rough time for some people. Tragic events that happen to people around that time, too. Okay, let me get this all in order here. I think... I want to start here. All right. Let me get a little sip here. I hope everybody's doing well. Hanging in there. Take this image and hold on to it for dear life, okay? Took a lot of pain to get that image right there. Like I said, I have a shattered shoulder and it's hard to hold a camera up 45-degree angle in the sky. I dare you guys to hold your camera without moving it for 40. at a 45-degree angle. Come on back to me, Lord. Give me this back. Anyways, it gets painful, and the moment you let the camera down, this dissipates and goes away. It's only through a lot of pain that these cloud formations actually gel and come together. It's not until I'm in a fair amount of pain. Okay, my heart's racing and adrenaline's pumping. You know, your body's reacting to the pain. So understand that this is a real image. Took a lot of pain to bring it to you, and that's why I keep showing this, because it's going to be it's my anchor, and I want it to be yours as well. So I think right here is where I want to start. So I take a sip again. Okay, I want you to live close to me, open to me, aware of, attentive to, trusting and thanking me. I am always near you, so open yourself fully, heart, mind, and spirit, to my living presence. Feel free to ask the Holy Spirit to help you in this endeavor. Seek to stay aware of me as you follow your path through this day. There is never a moment when I am not fully aware of you. Attentiveness involves being alert, listening carefully, and observing closely. I encourage you to be attentive not only to me, but to the people I bring into your life. Listening to others with full, prayerful attendance blesses both them and you. The Bible is full of instructions to trust me and thank me. Remember, I am totally trustworthy, so it is always appropriate to believe me and my promises. I understand your weaknesses, and I will help you overcome your unbelief. Finally, thank me throughout the day. This discipline of gratitude helps you receive my joy in full measure. When the task before you looks daunting, refuse to be intimidated. Discipline your thinking to view the challenge as a privilege rather than a burdensome duty. Make the effort to replace your I have to mentality with an I get to approach. This will make all the difference in your perspective. Okay, it's all about perspective. It's all about how you approach things. Instead of I have to, think I get to. All right? This will make all the difference in your perspective, transforming drudgery into delight. This is not a magic trick. The work still has to be done. But the change in your viewpoint can help you face the challenging chore joyfully and confidently. As you go about your work, perseverance is essential. If you start to grow weary or discouraged, remind yourself, I get to do this. Then thank me for giving you the ability and strength to do what needs to be done. Thankfulness clears your mind and draws you close to me. Remember that my Spirit who lives in you is the helper. So ask him to help. Ask him to help you when you're perplexed. As you ponder problems and seek solutions, he will guide your mind. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as for working for me. Every time something thwarts your plans or desires, use that as a reminder to communicate with me. This practice has several benefits. The first is obvious. Talking with me blesses you and strengthens our relationship. Another benefit is that disappointments, instead of dragging you down, are transformed into opportunities for good. This transformation removes the sting from difficult circumstances, making it possible to be joyful in the midst of adversity. Begin by practicing this discipline in all the little disappointments of daily life. It is often these minor setbacks that draw you away from my presence. When you reframe setbacks as opportunities, you find that you gain much more than you have lost. It's only after much training that you can accept major losses in this positive way. But it is possible to attain the perspective of the Apostle Paul, who wrote, compared to the surpassing greatness of knowing Christ Jesus, I consider everything once treasured to be as insignificant as rubbish. When yep, I think that was it. Wait. There's still one more. Oh yeah, right here. Walk peacefully with me through this day. Wait, let me get another sip here. Still people here. What are you guys still doing here? I'm just over here reading away and you guys are still here? Alright. Walk peacefully with me through this day. You are wondering how you cope with all that is expected of you. You must traverse this day like any other day, one step at a time. Instead of mentally rehearsing how you will do this or that, keep your mind on my presence and on taking the next step. The more demanding your day, the more help you can expect from me. This is a training opportunity, since I designed you for deep dependence on your shepherd king. Challenging times wake you up and amplify your awareness of needing my help. When you don't know what to do, wait a while. I open the way before you. So sometimes when you don't know what to do, give it a minute. Wait. Listen to that small, quiet voice inside, okay? And then you'll know which way to go, okay? I will give strength to you, and I will bless you with peace. All right, so that's our reading for tonight. I think you guys are understanding how this works. Your prayers are doing a lot. You guys are getting a lot better at it. I think you're starting to see your spiritual aspect of it. You guys are actually spiritual warriors in a battle. The spiritual warfare has been going on the whole time, and you didn't even know. But now that you know, and you understand how much power and authority you have, he gives you the same power and authority. Okay? Take it. Receive it. Recognize it. Thank him. Give him credit for the help. And then as you go through your daily gauntlet, prepare yourself before you go out there into the masses. If you guys knew what was going on in your skies, this kind of activity, you would pray every time you left the house. If you could see what I see in the skies every day, you guys would probably never leave your house. But regardless of what's going on, you can still leave your house because you have power and authority to do it. He's protecting believers, okay? So when stuff comes down the pike, remember, you have a spiritual protector, okay? That's what this whole thing is about. That's the reason why I was given this beautiful image. I mean, I cannot put in words how urgent this information is. This is 2,000-year-old prophecy come true. This is a real miracle in the clouds. Hollywood portrayed, the clouds are going to split and there's going to be all these angels arriving and there's all these picturesque artwork of what it's going to look like and blah, blah, blah. Well, this is what it really looked like, and it is a very picturesque art. This is God's handiwork. You can see his hand at this. That's his artwork. And he uses the clouds as his backdrop, as his stencil. He said, you'll see him coming in the clouds with power and great glory. Well, the crown up here signifies power and great glory. The fact that this happened on Easter, I cannot impress upon you enough how important that fact is, let alone that the clouds did this. But they did it on Easter, you guys. So hold on to this with everything you got, because things are going to change here. It looks like cooler heads are not going to prevail. We got children here with very dangerous weapons and very big egos. And we need to recognize there's only one king. There's only one leader. Everybody else needs to just drop what they're doing, start bowing, because there's a new leader. He's already here. I'm going to see him soon. Okay? Anyways, just kind of giving you guys some love, a foundation. Come on back. Satan trying to take away my image. Some love, some hope, some courage, okay, and some knowledge to let you guys know you have spiritual authority. You can shout down these criminals and these liars. They know they're criminals. They know they're liars. We just got to call them on it and say, hey, enough. Enough is enough. You know, I don't think we need a pedophile as our president, you know? Anyway, I think that's about it for tonight. We covered all the notes. We did all the reading. Yes, thank you, Lord. I think we're done. He's got me off to do something else now. I have been on a roll today, so keep your eyes out for the earthquake activity, continued volcano activity. We'll watch very closely for any kind of inbound waves coming off the sun. You know what? Never mind. Watch this aurora. Learn to get over here to Solar Ham. I'll try to put the link in the description. This is a good instrument to come over here just to check. See what's going on over here at your GOES X-ray. See what's going on with your auroras real quick before you head out for the day and you're out in the sun or whatever. You might want to know what's going down with your atmosphere and everything. And you can come over here and it gives you a pretty good report. So does this other one here, spaceweather.com. This one too. You guys probably use these already. I know some of you guys do. So, anyways, I'm trying to give credit to these guys for doing their reports because it's important. This is very, very important information. Everything that's going on over in the Middle East is romper room compared to what's going on here on our sun. The whole world needs to kind of drop what they're doing, pull up their panties, and take notice of the danger we're in. Okay? That coronal hole, that's pretty wicked. It's already rotated out of our strike zone, but look at that thing. That's a sign of what the sun's going through right now, okay? These are all indicators. These are all signs in the sun. Promised that you would see these signs in the sun, signs of the moon and the stars, wars, rumors of wars, the seas and the oceans roaring, earthquakes, volcanoes. It's all happening because the arrival. Alrighty. So that's it for tonight. I love you all. God bless you all. I miss you all so much. I can't wait to be together. Oh, it's going to be awesome when you guys see. You guys are going to be... we're going to all meet face to face. Holy cow. I get to meet you guys. It's going to be so cool. Alright, so hang in there. Have faith. Your faith can go to a higher place of knowing for sure. And that's what gives your prayers even more power when you know that they are being heard. You got to pray the Lord's will. Don't just pray for stuff for yourself. That's lustful intent. You got to pray for others. And I pray for others' health, for their endurance. You know, I go through brutal days where by the time I lay down, my body is so physically exhausted from all the pain all day that it feels so good to lay down, and just I'm thankful for a bed and a roof and a blanket, so it's small things like that you end up appreciating a lot more. So everybody, just face each day one day at a time. You guys got this gauntlet that you got to go through day by day. Recognize it for what it is. Pray for your protection and help while you're out there, and when you do receive it, recognize it. Oh shoot, that was the one thing I prayed for. It happened. Oh, thank you, that was you. I totally saw it. That's when you make that connection, that's when you'll get even more miracles in your life. The moment you recognize, you go, oh, I saw what you did. That was totally you. I saw it. I recognize it. Thank you so much. You did that. I didn't. Yeah, I see it now. The moment that happens to you and you recognize it and you thank him, more stuff is on the way. That's how I got to this point. Was a lot of thank yous, a lot of recognition, a lot of believing and receiving. I received this because I believed it as well. I was I had a very bad past and I had to go through some rough stuff in my life and I came to rock bottom, and that's where most people find him, is at rock bottom. And ever since he turned my life around, it's been a testimony. I'm a living testimony to his deliverance. And ever since that day, he has delivered me over 1,000 times. It seems like each day is a delivery now. Every time you make it through the gauntlet and you make it home safely with all your packages and stuff, you should be grateful. You should be thankful that you made it through a gauntlet. There's violence out there, all kinds of crazy stuff. So, the moment that happens, when you see that small little miracle, it's every little detail too. As soon as you recognize, oh, every little detail is him doing this and that and that and this, and you give him credit for even the small details, it'll even explode more for you. The more you believe, the more you receive, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. All right, he is just a never-ending wellspring. So that is it for tonight. I'm sorry, I got to get going. I got more stuff to do, even at this late hour. I'm gonna be watching these closely. I'll try to put that link for the solar ham. If you guys can't find it on your own, I'll try to put it in the description at the end of this. All right, that's it for tonight. God bless y'all. I miss you all. All right, that's it for tonight. And until my next show, I'll be back. I am back. Can't you tell?